Hello everyone, and thank you for watching Fayetteville Public Utilities Channel 6. I'm Sarah Mack Young, and in our studio today we have a guest with us. We have Mr. Doug Campbell. It's good to see you, Doug.
Hey Sarah, good to see you again today.
It's always a great opportunity to have you in the studio to talk to us. Doug is the EMA, which is the Emergency Management Agency Director here for Lincoln County. And it's always great when Doug comes in because he's got great information for us and wants to inform us of what's going on in Lincoln County and make us aware of some new things and always kind of educate us. So it's always great to have you come on over and see us.
That's a tall order, Sarah, I'm going to tell you. Yeah, we do have some new toys, and I think the last time we talked we was trying to unveil some things, and this one we just kind of happened on that I wanted to talk about today to start out with. So.
Well, let's talk a little bit, Doug. We've had some weather. Last time you were here, we were kind of talking about we'd had some flooding, which is not a normal thing.
Right.
We do have flooding from time to time, but not like we had the last time. And in that conversation, you said there were some things where you were hoping that we could get some things going to be able to help people to report things and let you guys know what's going on.
Right, right. And this will be one of the tools that will be available for that we can release out on that. Quick update that on that too. We have had the presidential declaration. It was confirmed for public assistance only, and we're working with FEMA now through the city and with FPU because y'all had some damage, and then the county to get together and try to get all this information into the new portal that FEMA's got. So that is still ongoing. If anybody's got any questions behind the scenes, may take a year or two before all that's settled out, but we're working to try to get that finalized. And our goal in stemming from the flood was try to get away. Of course, we're still working on the road closure board, and that's proved a little more challenging than what we thought to make it so that it would easily be something that a deputy or a highway department or myself, TDOT, could go up and click a button and it would close a road and automatically report to a dashboard. But Ernie Qualls, our GIS coordinator for the county, has been great. He's working with us on that, and he actually was able to put this link together real easy for us, and we kind of tweaked it and modified it a little bit, and we're kind of excited. We want to get this one out and try it and see how it goes.
All right, so let's talk a little bit, Doug. We've got this new link and we're excited about that. We're going to show folks at home how you can do that. We're going to walk through it, but we did have some weather this weekend, and tell everybody how everything fared for EMA.
It fared very, very well. We did have several trees down across roads. We had a lot of folks that called those in. I haven't counted up the exact number of roads yet. It's about 3.5 pages from Com Center. And then once the sun come up Saturday morning and people started to get out, there was a few more roads found. But we were very fortunate in that no homes or structures were damaged in any of this. We did have some trees that, like I said, blocked roads and maybe made some inconveniences, but the citizens of Lincoln County that live local to the area, they were out with chainsaws. The deputies were dragging trees out of the road. I know as I was coming across Chestnut Ridge back into town Friday night, the THP was out there helping and the fire department. So everybody pitched in as usual and got everything cleaned up. I talked to Tim Gill this morning. He said they got through about 2 o'clock Saturday morning, and then he had to send a couple of crews back out Saturday, like I said, as the sun come up to find a few more trees that was across the road. But all in all, we fared very, very well. No structure damage, no loss of life that we know of or has been reported right now. And that storm really kind of wasn't supposed to have gotten that strong. That was one of the predictions. If you've been watching the weather, they said, we could have some winds maybe or a couple of small gusts. And we did. We had a couple of small gusts, and it really frayed havoc with some trees. But everybody worked great together, and that's all cleaned up and covered, and highway department's picking up debris now, and so everything should be back to normal.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about EMA. We're talking about new things that you guys are bringing in, new things that you're doing, and you're wanting to educate the community. But something else that we haven't touched on before when you've been here is, how do your first responders know? How are they responding now? How are they getting calls? How are they getting out to help folks, especially if there's a wreck? If they do have something down out on the line, they have trees down in the roads and things of that nature. I know that's Tim, but that's also you guys too, and folks kind of dispatch that out. How do they know that, Doug?
So we have two means of communication now. We still have our radio communication through our walkies that we carry. but we found that in certain areas they may not always pick up. So we bought a app for everybody's phones for the county called I Am Responding, and we've loaded that onto all of the fire department. And it's an automatic notification, so when the 911 takes the call, whatever it may be, and they plug that information into the dispatch and hit enter, then not only as they transmit that information verbally across the radio and alert the tones, we receive a notification through the app on our phones. So if we're sitting in church and we don't carry our radios in, we still get the notification. Or if maybe we just happen to be in an area where we don't have, good radio coverage, sometimes you do have cell coverage, and that will come in on it. So it gives us a backup means of receiving notifications. And you get just a little bit of information to come across, hey, we've got a tree across the road at XYZ address, and then we know who to respond. The neat thing about it is we learned this app here, it will have our hydrant information in it. So if we do have a structure fire and we need to know where's the closest hydrant, well, it gives us a map that shows us the closest hydrant and how well that hydrant performs, whether it gives us a lot of water or very little water. And I know you guys are working, FPU has a lot of hydrants out in the county. Lincoln County Board of Public Utilities, of course, has a lot of hydrants. And the maintenance program that y'all are doing, it tells us the last time it was maintenance, what the flow test was on it. So that's a big help for the fire department too, where they know they can get to the best hydrant, available. And it gives us a little snippet that, hey, we got smoke in a residence or whatever the call may be. So it's a secondary means of notification, which is always good so that you make sure we don't miss any calls.
Now, folks, we want them to understand that you guys are running those calls as fast as you can, but you got to be careful getting there too.
That's true. That's true. Our call volume is hitting about 1,000 or a little better a year, and we're looking for volunteers. It's a huge commitment, as we've talked about, to do this. A lot of hours of training, and it takes I was told today, it takes a unique individual who's willing to give up all the time that it takes to do this. So my hat's off to these guys that was out at midnight Friday night for nothing, be it the local resident whose tree, the tree was blocking the road to their house, or the fire department or that was out cutting the trees. So they spend a lot of time and hours for their communities out there, and anything that we can do from our office to try to make their job easier to get those notifications is what we're trying to do.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about, this is really cool. This is really neat. So this is actually something that's new. We've got the Lincoln County EMA page pulled up. We definitely would tell folks to write in when you're looking for it. When you go out to your search engine, you need to look for Lincoln County Emergency Management, or you might get a different Lincoln County that's not us.
You do have to be careful. There's a lot of Lincoln counties across the United States. So we were getting friend requests here a while back on our Facebook page, and they was asking, well, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? And I got to looking, and they were in Lincoln County, Nebraska. So I was able to reply back to them. I'm not great on Facebook, so if they're using our Facebook page, just be patient. We don't have a dedicated Facebook person, but we try to answer all the questions on it. And I let them know through there. I said, hey, I think you got the wrong Lincoln County. So. Yeah. Just be sure you get Lincoln County, Tennessee when you're doing that.
Well, let's scroll down because this is new and this is really cool. Something that I think folks at home might want to know, if you did have damage from the floods or if you've had storm damage. Folks can go out to this out to the Lincoln County EMA page or the Lincoln County Emergency Management page. This is what's going to come up.
Yes.
The picture may change, but for the most part, you always are going to see the Lincoln County EMA logo there, and then it's ours. That's ours,
yeah. If it says Lincoln County Fire Rescue and Lincoln County EMA, then those are our logos for the county, so that'll put you there. This, like you said, this picture here may change, but these are going to remain constant. So
if you're looking for this and this new app that we're going to tell you about, you're going to scroll down past the picture, and there it is.
There it is. So our Facebook pages have been there. We added this new link here, and this evolved really just over the weekend almost. I was in a director's meeting in Williamson County Thursday, and as we got ready to close out the meeting, the Williamson County EMA said, hey, we've got this new link that we're trying out. and it's through our ArcGIS department, and it allows the citizens to go in and log information if they have damage. I thought, well, that's pretty neat.
Absolutely.
So Friday morning, I was talking to our GIS coordinator, Ernie Qualls, and I said, man, this would be neat if we had something like this. And he said, well, let me see what they're doing. I'll see what I can do. So it's a link, I guess, through the ArcGIS system, a survey, where you can go in and like I said, we've got this, you can click this link, it's going to bring you up to a page. And it's a few simple little questions, and you can upload a photo. We're not sure how well that's going to work yet, because when you start uploading pictures, it takes a lot of memory and everything out of it.
Sure.
So if we've got 30,000 people in Lincoln County loading up pictures, we're not sure how it's going to clog the system. But for right now, we're going to leave that in there. Williamson County did not give the option to upload a picture in there. So we added that feature because we thought it'd be nice to see, you know, if a tree fell on your house or something, you could just take a quick picture, and then we would have that for our record. So yeah, we can click on that link there. And
so we would click on this, and we're going to click on the link, but if I have damage, I need to do this. But how do you use that information, and what is that going to help? That's not going to help me with my insurance by all means, but it is going to help you guys, correct?
Well, it does, and just like before I came over here to do this interview today, the National Weather Service has been in contact with us, and they like to track storms. And that is so they can see if it was straight line winds, if it was an EF category tornado. They can track the damage across multiple counties. I know they try to figure out the intensity of the storm, and they use that information for whatever they do to try to maybe help prevent something or do better warnings in the future on that. So this information is collected, and that's the email that I sent right before I come over here. Was I sent them a list of all the roads that were closed, where all the trees were down, the actions that were taken. I had been in touch with Brett here, Dye, and he had sent me the information on how many customers y'all had out of power and how quickly y'all were able to get all of them back on with power. So the National Weather Service collects all that data. So we'll use this information as a way to collect data, and we will funnel it to the National Weather Service, and they will use it for all of their information that they do in tracking storms and trying to figure out better ways to warn us and let us know what's going on.
Absolutely. So it's in our hands to help out.
Right. Yeah, there are only a few, like we're only a few, and you know, you take 570 square miles in Lincoln County, it's hard, even with 130 volunteers in the fire department, 8 or, you know, sheriff's deputies on 6 city police, and then public works and for the city, and Tim Gill with the county. You're still only so many roads you can touch base on, and if you have damage, you can fill this out real quick and click a quick picture and upload it, and it will pinpoint you on the map where it's at, and we'll look at our dashboard, kind of how it looks afterwards. Sure. And show you how we collect this information.
So what we need to do is when we're on this page and when we have any kind of damage, we're going to click here.
And you can do this from your phone too.
Okay.
And on your phone, it's pretty neat, because if you haven't taken a picture on your phone, it will automatically come up and say, take photo now. So you can take the photo once you go into the link, and it will upload it automatically. So if you've taken a picture and it's in your folder, then you can add it, or you can just take it straight from your phone at that point when you click in there.
Understand. So we're going to actually walk through here and talk a little bit about this, Doug, and you're going to walk me through this. And we're going to pretend that we've got some damage.
There you go.
And go from there. So I will do my name. That is something that you have to do. Folks here are going to see me type. I did not take a typing class, so if I make a mistake, I apologize.
That's all right. So this is a required field, is your name. That helps us out. We did not make the address field necessarily a required field, and you'll see down below we have a geo tracker that's going to pinpoint it. But we feel like it's important that, let's say, Sarah Mac, you live out on Huntsville Highway.
Sure.
But you're driving home, and we'll say you're on Prospect Road. So you can put your address in here, but then when you get to the geo tracker and you say, use my current location, well, it's going to pinpoint us there on Prospect Road somewhere.
Right.
So this is just information that we wanted to collect, because it may be down the street from your house. This is my address, but when you geo-track it and click that button, it's going to show us, okay, Sarah Mac lives here, but 200 yards below her house is where the tree's at. Because there may not be a physical address where the tree actually fell, especially out in some rural areas. If you live out where I do at Delrose, they may not be another house for a mile or 2 or 3 down the road. So I could put my address in and click on the road that I live on, and they'd know. I can look and say, okay, it's on up past my house, or it's between my house and the main highway. So it just gives us a way to kind of locate damage. And again, that's tracking information, storm track information that the Weather Service will use.
All right. Let's see. Which address would you like for me to use?
So put in my address there for the office.
Okay.
And that's 312 Market Street West.
Okay.
And the phone number is required, and that is for our information. If you have major damage or whatever, we may need to reach out and see if there's anything that you need as far as special services, if the Red Cross needs to be notified. The Red Cross called me first thing Saturday morning, wanted to know if we had any damage, anybody that had been displaced from their home, if they needed to come down and offer any assistance. So if you've uploaded this information of a tree on your home and you do need assistance, we could call and say, hey, we have a tree on this home here, do you care to call them? And Red Cross will be able to contact you to see if you need assistance at that point.
Understand.
So that's kind of why we made that one a required field.
The phone number is 433?
438-1575 over at my office.
Okay. And then, let's see. There's a few more questions we need to answer. Yeah, just a few more.
Email is optional. Most people will load a cell phone in there so we could text or call. If you have an email address and you'd like to put it in there, that's great. Our email is, our general services email is lcema at lc-tn.com, I think. So.
Okay. So now that I have that, I need to click here.
So, and you can, as you notice, it comes up, it says use current location. So this is where I was telling you it's important before. You live up here at XYZ Road, but you're a half a mile down from your house. You was going to the grocery store to get eggs because snowstorm had been predicted. So you was going to get eggs and milk or bread and milk. Bread and milk. There you go. But there was a tree across the road from ice storm or whatever it fell. So you click here so we could look and it will find you and it will add it in there. So you have to allow the location access on your phone if you're doing this, or your computer. So it's done that, and then you just go on down. It's in there now. If you have a photo, you can click here. And I don't know, can you click in this box? Or you have to click the
You can, if you've got one saved to your drive, you can put it in there. Or if you are doing the mobile, which that's really great to note that this is mobile friendly, so you can look at it on your phone. You can upload a picture just right there by pressing that button, and I can see the damage. I'm going to take that picture, and then it's going to be saved in here. And then, Doug, we have some questions we need to answer. Is there structure damage? We can assume that for this one, we'll say that there is.
Yes. And the default on all of these, Sarah Mac, is going to be no.
Gotcha.
So automatically it's going to default to no. And this is interesting, even, you guys in the utility, as we're gathering this information, if they put in here, do you have wires down? And if you notice, we've made that a required field. So it's important to know that, hey, if you have tree damage, chances are you may have some wires down.
Sure.
So we'll be able to look at this dashboard and report that information to you. And you may already have it, you may not.
Right.
Like I say, as you're out, your crews are out trying to discover all the damage and the phones are ringing off the hook. This may be a way that we can get in there and say, hey, and all of these require some kind of answer and they automatically default to no. So it was important, I think, that we note that. We added automobile damage and livestock damage in there. In the tornadoes, I remember back in 2014 and the one prior to that, it was a big issue. We had fences down, horses running everywhere, some cattle running everywhere. So if you have livestock damage, you just click yes. That doesn't necessarily mean anyone's injured, but hey, maybe they're loose and we need to call in a team to help with that. So whatever you want to click. And like I said, it's going to automatically default to no, and then you just hit submit. So it'll tell you that your information has been submitted.
Okay. And then we're actually going to show folks at home what it's going to look like when it comes into you. Let's go back here. Apologize. We're going to show, it's going to show up.
So we played with one earlier, and we didn't put anything in there. So this was the first one we loaded, and so we will click on it, and it shows the information that we loaded the first time in here, and it pinpoints us, geo-tracked us to right here. So it zooms into it, and if she clicks the second one, it should do the same thing right there for us. There you go.
All right, we got, let's see.
Unclick that first one.
Let's go here. All right, so looks like that may be the first one.
Yeah, that was the first. So here's the second one.
Okay, here we go.
So it comes in, it tells me automatically right here, we had livestock damage, we had no automobile damage, we did have trees down, we had wires down, and we had some structure damage. So it may have been a tree that pulled a meter base off the house. But we know that we have some damage there, and we know about where it was at right there. So that's where the geo-track comes in from.
You've also got some information here that's going to let you know when this was last updated on the side there as well. So you're going to be able to see that there was storm damage, there are trees down, there's lines down. If there's automobile damage, there's also livestock damage. So this is something where you guys are going to see this and it's going to automatically key you in, correct?
It does. I mean, like I said, this was updated just a minute ago. And we know right now, according to the two reports, that we have one home damage, we have some tree damage, we do have some utility damage. Right now we don't have any damage to cars, and we do have something going on with some livestock at this point. So we think this will be helpful information, not only for ourselves and our emergency services group, which includes, our utilities, but it'll also be helpful information that we will be able to download then and send to the National Weather Service.
Now, Doug, this is something that when this information is entered, is it something that you guys are going to get automatically? It's going to ping you. You're going to know to know that, hey, we've got this and we need to probably start communicating and start working.
At this time, we don't have anything that comes into my phone that says, hey, Cermak just posted something. What we will have is I have the dashboard on my phone, so anywhere I'm at, I can look at it and see where it's at, or I've got my iPad with me, and we can automatically look and see what's going on and then call it in, wherever we're at, provided we've got cell coverage there.
Right. It's something that will be monitored.
It will be monitored
very
and
closely.
watched at. We're not sure yet how, if we're going to put a board up at 911, if it will help them with anything that's coming in. We may even give a link so that you guys could look at it and see, hey, if you see one with electrical, well, you need to click and see where that's at naturally. So this is our first action. It would have been great if we would have had it in play this, over this weekend. I was sitting there thinking Friday night as I was helping cut out road, man, it'd be really good if I could upload a picture of this right here, right now, and see how it would work. But this is one of the things that we're trying to get out that people have asked for, how do I send pictures of damage? So this is the way we're going to try to capture that. And as you said, when you was on the dashboard there, it'll give us a whole map of everything across the damage. So the storms that kind of come through, you can close that out right there in just a minute. If we had more, so if I had collected information coming across 231, and then let's say Don lives out in the Flintville area, he had collected information out in here around the Flintville area, then we would have saw a track that the storm came through this way.
Absolutely.
And that would have been useful information for the Weather Service. Instead of us trying to figure out how to track the footprint, we would have had a footprint basically laid out for us here on this map.
And we would have known how it came through and how it came into and how it swept through the area.
Right. And if you're checking on individuals, or y'all are checking power lines, or Tim's checking roads, we can kind of then start looking at, okay, these are coming in and maybe they didn't get called in. But we know there's areas out in there because everybody can't call into 911. And like I said, it may be the next morning when you get up and find it, which has happened. You know, some people slept right through it, and I probably would if it hadn't been what it was. But because I talked to my wife at Delrose, and she said we didn't have anything going on. I said, really? Man, the kind of the northeastern part of the county's got a lot of damage right now, according to what I understand.
Right.
So, with trees down. So it's a way for us to gather information. It's a way for us to know that the residents of Lincoln County are getting looked after and taken care of.
It's a great way that you guys are being proactive and looking forward and trying to make sure that you've got things for this. You know, you had said earlier this is something that you wanted, and it came about.
It did, and like I said, I thank the Williamson County EMA, and I was at the EMA directors meeting where it kind of threw this caveat into my head. We're still working on some other information. I don't know if we'll be able to modify this one to reflect just flood damage, you know, because we don't have a collection, is there any flood damage? But you could go in and mark where you was at, geolocate if you was on a road and it was closed, and take a picture, and then just answer no to all those questions and send it, and it would come in and we would say, hey, that road's flooded.
Right.
And it would pinpoint it on the map. If you was at Harms and you took a picture, then, you know, hey, we know Harms is flooded. So.
Absolutely. So, Doug, there's more things that you guys they're trying to roll out. You're trying to get the word out to folks.
We are.
You want them to know that you're here and what you guys do and trying to take care of our community as much as you can to get them the protection that they need for fires, but also rescue as well, but also making sure that we are collecting data and making folks aware.
The more data is king, you know, and the Weather Service likes to have it. And then the more information that we receive, the better we're able to respond. So if they tell us it's going to track this way and we have a history that it does track this way, then it allows us to maybe get resources more prepared in certain areas when they tell us this. You know, it kind of identifies problematic areas. It seems like for whatever reason, some areas, if you live on a road, got a lot of trees close to it, then you're probably going to have a lot of trees across the road, so we can automatically start heading to those areas and make sure that emergency services are available to get to you, which is key, especially, you know, if you need an ambulance, the ambulance needs to be able to get there, and if there's a tree across the road, well, that creates a problem. But if we know that tree's across the road, it's going to be a while, then we can get the information to dispatch and they will reroute the ambulance the correct way to get to you. So you may live on the opposite side of the way the ambulance would normally come in. But in this case, they could say, hey, that tree is down right there at XYZ area address. You need to come in from the other direction so the ambulance is not delayed in its response. And we would use that information to be able to do stuff like that, hopefully.
Hopefully. That's what we're looking for. That's what you're looking towards, and that's what you want to do. Doug, tell folks at home how they can get in touch with the EMA office if they have questions, if they need assistance, or they want to know more about this application. How can folks get in touch with you guys there?
They can call our office 8 to 4:30, 438-1575. They can go on this website, our Lincoln County EMA website. You can submit questions through it. We do have a Lincoln County Emergency Management Facebook page, and we try to answer those questions on it as quickly as we can. We have a Lincoln County Fire Rescue Facebook page. And we put out a promotion on it with our new weather sirens and alert. We've set up a automatic Twitter account so that you can go in and register to receive automatic notifications through the weather notification system that sends out. Not sure how all that works. Those guys that do the IT for the weather and everything set it up. But I know you can go in through our Facebook page and register, and it works because you get information from it during that comes out from the National Weather Service. And it'll all be polygon based pretty much. It says, hey, if you fall under this area, then you'll start receiving information from it.
It's another great tool and resource for folks at home. A lot of people have Facebook. Definitely should probably go out and try to find Lincoln County, Tennessee, EMA, and get that information.
Yeah, it's there, it's available, it's the way we're trying to get it out. It's hard to stay in the office and answer the phone when it's after hours and trees are on the road. So if we can get some automatic notifications being sent out, then that really helps get the public informed. And that's the goal in emergency services, is to make sure the public's informed as quickly as possible and as far ahead of time as possible. The Weather Service has done a big study on when to notify and when is too much information. And right now, there's not a good parity on what that answer should be. So if it falls within the polygon in the warning, then you're probably going to get a notification. The one other thing I want to mention real quick that we're working on and we'll be releasing next on our website is a reverse 911 notification system. We have signed an agreement. We're working with a company called HyperReach right now. I think we'd mentioned that in one of our earlier televised interviews that we did, but we have settled on, we interviewed about 9 or 10 different companies on webinars, and we've settled on HyperReach. So we're gathering information now. And part of that stemmed from the flood that you mentioned. So if, say, you lived in the river basin from Shady Grove up to Kelsa in there, no cell service, chances are really good down in there, and you lived along that river, and you register on this HyperReach system once it gets out, and like I said, I'll let you know when we get the link on the web page. It's probably going to take a couple of months to get all the ins and outs ironed out on that. You'll automatically receive, if we push something out through there, if we draw a polygon box and say, hey, this area is going to flood, then we'll draw a polygon box and it will start calling you and warning you automatically. And that's going to be a lot quicker than trying to have a deputy drive to every address, or me drive to every address, or someone from our office, or the fire department coming out saying, hey, you need to move. We can try to reach out. The information is secure, just like on this, your information is secure on this. Nobody will see it but us. I know we showed this up here, but when you log in on this, it's not shared, it's not posted anywhere, it's not sold anywhere. It's solely for information purposes here within the county that we're using this, or to the National Weather Service, and they don't sell anything either. HyperReach is the same way. Your information is secure with them. So if you go in and register that you want to receive notifications on your cell phone, I never see that number. All that information is stored at HyperReach, and they're excuse me, nationally recognized company, and that information is secure and not sold. So a lot of people, and I'm one of them, I'm a little leery about putting my phone number out somewhere because everybody gets robocalls. You won't get robocalls from HyperReach. If you get a notification from us, it's because we have pushed something out that we feel like is important, and it'll be an automatic recorded message that, hey, there's flooding in your area, please take caution, or you need to move, or you need to make plans to move out, whatever the situation may be at this time. So that's coming. That's the other thing that we're working on that we'd mentioned. I wanted to give a quick update on that.
That's great. As I said earlier, when Doug comes, we're always going to be finding out about something new, something different, something that we're working on in our community to make it better, and to inform, which is really great. We are tornado prone here, so at some point I have a feeling if you'll go out, that you're going to get to a point where if we think there's something where people need to take shelter, you're going to be able to release that to them.
That's our goal in this. We're wanting to get as much early notification as we can. And sometimes that's great, we get the chance, and then sometimes it doesn't. So it's hard to pick up the phone and call 10,000 people that live in a certain section of the county, but if I can draw a polygon and it'll send it out within a minute to those 10,000 people, then that is going to be really a good beneficial service. So we're hoping everybody will register their home number, their cell number, whatever it is that they use. And once we get this out, I'll let you know, and we'll show the link on it. It'll be a link very similar to this, where you just go in and register, and it automatically stores your information, and then we can get the word out to you.
Absolutely. But for now, we want folks to know about this. This is
Absolutely.
The new storm damage link that you're able to go out to EMA's website and click on that, and that will help you to link to report any damage that you have to EMA, and that will help them to also help the National Weather Service and get information back to folks. I'm sure FEMA and TEMA ask for information too. This is going to help with them as well. So it's a great way for Doug and the great folks at Emergency Management to get that information back.
That's right, yeah. Anything we can do, to try to make it easier for our county and our residents to get assistance if needed is what we're trying to do.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you, Doug, in the
thank you
studio
again.
today.
Yeah.
As I said, it's always great when Doug comes in because he's going to tell us something good, a piece of information that we need to know as residents, and help us to be aware of what's going on and make it better for us.
We hope Lincoln County stays safe, and we appreciate the residents. I mean, we've got some great people that call in and feed us information. So call our office if we can help. We'll do our best.
Absolutely. And tell them again where you guys are located and that phone number.
We're at 312 Market Street West, and that's right in behind AutoZone here in Fayetteville, up on the hill, and 931-438-1575.
Absolutely. You can get in touch with Doug and Angela Phelps and Paula Posey.
That's right.
all the folks that are there in the office. Those folks are happy to help you, and they want to give you information.
That's right. That's right. Call. We try to leave Paula chained to her desk, and Angela and I are running wherever. So, but call us up. We'll do all we can.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Doug. It's been a pleasure to have you in the studio today. We've been talking with Doug Campbell. He is the director of Lincoln County Emergency Management Agency and Fire Rescue. And we appreciate you, our viewers, for watching FPU's Channel 6, and we'll see you back in here next time.